So today we're going to be painting a very nice sunset over a lake, and we are going to just start off with our materials and supplies that you're going to need. Basically just need 5 colors, the 3 primaries, which are red, yellow, and blue, and then the 2 neutrals of black and white. And then you're going to need some brushes. I am using a flat thick brush, and then a pointy skinny brush. One of these. I'm using a lot larger of a canvas than what I usually use for teaching purposes. I'm going to be using the same brushes, just bigger. So I'm still using that flat brush. And I'm also still using a pointed brush. This one is just a little bit bigger than these two. They're the same, so either way. Okay. You're also going to need a cup of water, not for drinking, and put your brushes, the bigger brushes, in the water, but leave the smaller ones out of the water because they will get bent. They will get bent easier because they're more fragile, and just them being in the water pushes the bristles and they get all frayed. So let's just avoid that. Just the big brushes in your water. Your other ones, you can do whatever you want with them, just not in the water. You're also going to need a paper towel for cleaning off your brushes. You will also need either a plate, or like a paper plate, or a painting palette, whatever you have at your disposal. Go ahead and put my colors onto my paint palette. Yellow, you're gonna need blue, you're gonna need red, you're gonna need black, need white. I'm gonna break this up into shapes to kind of give you a better understanding of what we're gonna do before we do it. So for this sunset painting, we are going to draw a circle. It's going to be pretty large, and you're also going to want your canvas to be horizontal, so like mine, not vertical up and down. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just use the small one. Anyway, moving on. So I don't know how to explain the things I'm doing, so just watch and then ask questions. Show you, because I am going to be painting over something and I want to make sure you can see everything that we're doing. I will use red. So you're going to make a circle. Now once you have your circle, you're going to draw a horizontal line in the center, all the way across. And then you are going to draw another like half circle inside on the top of the horizontal line. So inside the circle on top of the horizontal line. And for the next shape, we are going to do a triangle. The triangle is going to start at the center of the horizontal line and go downwards, kind of fanning out towards the bottom. So now we're ready to go ahead and get started on our painting. So I'm going to just wipe off some of the water that was on my brush. And for this first part, we're going to start with the darker colors and go into the light colors. So this means we're going to start with black. And you are going to also dip your brush in blue. And you're going to mix that together, and it's going to make like a navy blue, or just like a really dark blue. You don't have to mix your colors on your paint palette. If you choose, you can just dip your brush in 2 colors and then mix it on the canvas. I do that sometimes, so if you see me doing that, it's just, you can do it either way. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on this outside area. Just paint what is above the horizontal line. We'll worry about under that after we are finished with this part. It's not a big deal if you accidentally get a little bit of another color on your brush. For example, I just got a little bit of white on my brush, but it's not a big deal. You can just add more of the color you wanted to add and just kind of make it fade away. The background is going to be, this entire painting is actually going to be a lot of blending, so just have fun with it, relax, don't feel rushed, just enjoy the color mixing process. Something to keep in mind is the more paint you use, the longer it will take to dry, so I would recommend not being afraid to get your brush in that water if you ever feel like your brush is getting stuck on the canvas, like sticky, but there's still paint on your brush. This paint is water-based, so water is like a carrying agent for the paint. And we want our paint to dry in a good amount of time because you need to layer, and so if your layer is wet, you cannot go on top of that layer without it mixing together, which in a lot of cases is something you want. However, sometimes you don't want that. You want to paint white over blue without it turning into baby blue. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You can also use a paper towel to, if you feel like you have too much paint, you can use a paper towel to wipe some of it away. But that's really not necessary except for in extreme circumstances or something, but yeah. Okay. I almost stepped in my water cup. Okay. So we did our top half of the, next we are going to do the bottom half, and you're gonna do the same thing. So same color and everything, you're just gonna do it here. Leave the triangle alone, but just mirror what we just did up above. So now we have the entire outer area painted. I'm going to get a little bit of, and just get white on your brush. You don't need to clean it off because we're trying to make a light blue. So essentially I'm just grabbing some whites on my bigger brush and I'm going to just start painting on that inner circle. This is important. Make sure your brush strokes are back and forth the shape of the half circle. Just keep going back and forth very calmly. It's very soothing until you've got that entire middle portion filled in. But do not fill in the closest, smallest inner circle thing, like this area. I don't know if you noticed, I did not add any more paint to my paintbrush for this entire thing. I just added more water. Okay, now I am going to add more white, and this time I'm going to mix the white and the blue off canvas to get a light blue. And with the light blue, I'm just gonna go from where the blue and the light blue kind of meet and just go over that line. up and over. Gonna add more water. Just get my brush a little bit wet again and tap off some of that water. And basically what I'm gonna do is just go over where the two different blues kind of meet each other. So I'm just gonna blend out any hard edges just with the water, and like a clean brush really does the job well. Now we're going to move on to the bottom half circle, but we are still going to leave alone this triangle. So basically, the either side of the triangle, we're going to be filling in with this like nice light blue as well. And for this one, since it's not a half circle, just fill it in and try to blend out those like red lines so that you get kind of like a purple color. I think it looks really pretty. And the bottom is going to be a little bit of a different color, but it's okay because the bottom is the water, so it's not going to be the exact same color as the sky. Also, we're going to add more things to it, so don't worry. Now, we're going to just dip our brush in the whites. We're still using the big brush. And I want you to make horizontal lines inside of the, whatever the inside of this shape is. So just do horizontal lines. They don't need to be clean, just kind of play around with them, keeping yourself mostly inside of that triangle shape. And now, imagine when the sun is here, we have a nice reflection. Okay, we're not done yet with the water part though. So that's just a general idea of how we're going to make our reflection. We're still gonna work a little bit more on this outer water areas. So you're gonna go back, and you don't need to clean your brush, but you're gonna go back and just get some blue on your brush. And you're going to do the same idea with the horizontal brush strokes. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of black and do the same thing on the just like the very outer edges, to kind of bring back some of the darkness, to show, like, you know, the water is going out of view, so it's going to be darker. Not by a lot, just, you know, by a little bit. A general rule for using black, you never really need that much of it unless you are painting like a black, mostly black and white, like a grayscale painting. But black is a color that will definitely overpower anything else that you have, so you just want to be a little more careful with it. Because you can always add more, but once it's in there, you can't take it out. So next, we are going to still use black, and we are going to draw where that horizontal line was again, but do not go in the very middle, like where that half circle is. Leave that alone. But do that the black horizontal line on either side. This is going to be where our land meets the sky, and where we're going to have some like landscape in the background. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a perfect straight line, because like I said, this is like landscape in the background, so we're going to add trees and things like that. So the easiest way to do a tree from far away especially, I should just tap. Yeah, okay. So just tap. To make different varying heights and whatnot. Since I used such a big brush in the beginning, mine are like super tall. But also my canvas is a lot bigger than the one that we usually use in our class. So just do whatever feels right and like whatever you think is going to be proportionate to your the size of your body of water. But also it really doesn't matter, because just how much bigger the landscape is just means that you're that much closer to it, perception-wise. Yeah, I'm just kind of tapping at it. Finished working on the sky. And so you're going to clean off your brush really well, because you don't want any of that black on there, because we're going to be adding very light colors into the sky. So use your paper towel to kind of clean off your brush. And the water, of course. Be adding yellow in the center of that half circle. And my red is mixing with my orange, but that's good because we are going to be, my red is mixing with my yellow, and that's good because we're going to be making an orange color. Next, I'm going to add just a really small amount of red, because if you add too much red, it will just basically turn scarlet, and a lot of the times when you're making orange, you can make a lot of different shades, but the most common one to make is a more red shade. So if you want it to be more bright, add more yellow. If you want it to be more like scarlety, add more red. But just play around with it till you're happy with the color. Now I'm going to add a little bit of white to the top of it, just to the top of the bright orange ball that we have, to kind of give a highlight, and just try to blend that into the rest of the color. I'm gonna see how, okay, so the paint should be pretty much dry. You're going to use the flat brush for a straight line. You're going to want to, I'll use my hand as an example. You're going to want to put your brush on your canvas like this. My hand is the canvas, and you just lightly push on it to get a straight line. That's kind of a bad example because I was looking at the camera while I did it, but or at myself. You just do a light little brush stroke and you can get a straight line. So we're going to be doing some sun rays. Basically, you're going to use whatever color you have on your end of your brush, because you don't need a lot. It's like such a light little thing. So basically you're just going to do a light little brush stroke out into the atmosphere from the sun. And I know what you're thinking, it looks a little cheesy. We're going to go back and just kind of fill in where we have those lines that took some of our paint. And we're just going to keep adding very, very light lines So like I said, you don't need a lot of paint, and if you have like not that much paint on your brush, don't get any more. You can, I think, with whatever you have, even if it's little to nothing, it will be probably for the best. And just kind of like dry brush stroke out into the atmosphere. A hack is you can also use a dry paper towel. Just kind of fade it in, scrub it in. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my brush. We're going to go onto the water. So you're going to want to get some yellow and a little bit of red on your brush. And we're going to go over that triangle that we did earlier with those horizontal brush strokes. Kind of do the same thing. Go back with some whites. Okay, only a few more steps. We're gonna go and get some more of the blue. I'm gonna dip my brush in a little bit of water. And I'm going to add just some blue to kind of make sure that my triangle is nice and triangular. Also, this allows me to go over some of that paint with the blue brush, and then it will grab some of that color and pull it back into the blue area. Some water to my brush pretty much now. So just adding water really helps blend things. Okay, now the second to last step, we're going to get some more black and we're going to paint the outside edges. So kind of like if you bought a picture at a store and it has cardboard around all the four edges, just like that much. But only on the bottom too. These black little triangle things in the corner, you're going to just add a few little strokes, like little wispy strokes, kind of like grass. And then I like to finish this painting off with some birds. Don't be scared. So I'm going to use the little brush, and in the top I'm going to draw a little V with like curved things. I don't know, the two sides of the V, like we're going to just make them curved. And I'm going to do a couple, and they're going to be like all different sizes because they're birds flying somewhere. They can't all be the same. And I doubt you can even see it from there. Alright, And I know I said we're done, so I'm going to just add a few more in front of the sun so it looks a little bit more like the sun is behind you. Congratulations, you have painted a beautiful sunset over a lake. I hope that you enjoyed painting with me today because I had fun. I hope that you come back and we can paint again sometime. Hope that you come back and we can paint together sometime, so please like, comment. Yeah, so if you liked it, just like it. That way I know people like it. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. I will see you hopefully next time.